Some recently declassified documents are stirring up debate tonight over the creation of the terror group ISIL and whether or not the United States is accidentally somehow responsible for its creation. Senior political reporter Scott Thuman has been digging into the papers and has more.
Researchers at Judicial Watch were asking for defense documents looking into Benghazi. What they say was handed over was insight into the formation of ISIL and red flags about what could and eventually did happen. The chaos creating an uncertain future in both Iraq and Syria was something critics say they now know the administration was warned about and to a dangerous degree ignored. You would say these documents are relatively damning.
In my view, these documents are so damning. If they had been released prior to the president's re-election, he may not have been re-elected.
Judicial Watch secured 100 pages of previously classified documents that say American support of rebels trying to oust Syrian President Bashar al-Assad would actually create an ideal atmosphere for al-Qaeda and the Islamic State to eventually rule parts of Syria and Iraq.
And yet it wasn't too long later that President Obama said ISIS is the JV team. Really terrible stuff.
Some have even alleged the U.S. trained and armed fighters who became ISIL, though the papers hardly proved that.
This is the conversation that should come out of these documents. Not did the United States create ISIS. That's silly.
Matt Levitt of the Washington Institute for Near East Policy says where the U.S. failed was by not backing moderate rebels in Syria when it could, a move that may have prevented the rise of ISIL and the panic now ensuing from Baghdad to Damascus.
There was a major misstep in U.S. policy. It's critical to explain to people that not making a decision is a decision in itself, and sometimes a very costly one.
The almost 3-year-old documents also predict that the terror groups will gain momentum by returning to their old pockets, like Ramadi, something we just saw happen this month. On Capitol Hill, I'm Scott Thuman.